Hey everybody, welcome to our holiday edition of our top 5 videos. Today we are going to talk about 5 Christmas traditions with creepy histories. And we're going to start with number 5.
So, number 5, a modern British Christmas tradition is the burning of the Christmas pudding. It dates back to the 1600s and is being referenced in Shakespeare, Dickens, Austen, and Agatha Christie. It was a game called Snapdragon, and it was played on Christmas Eve. So raisins and almonds were put into a bowl, covered in brandy, and set on fire. Candles are extinguished, and this was done in the dark. The fun part about the game is that the raisins were flaming hot and had to be extinguished in your mouth. So the rules for Snapdragon, as of 1811, raisins and almonds being put into a bowl of brandy and the candles extinguished, the spirit is set on fire and the company scrambles for the raisins. It was particularly played by children, which is a bit odd, but I guess back in the day sometimes children were consuming alcohol.
Yeah, actually it was kind of a children's game. Adults played it, but it was mostly for children, so it's a little alarming.
Yeah. So unsurprisingly, the tradition died out in the 1900s.
Yeah, thank goodness, because I'm sure there were a lot of fires that needed to be extinguished and burnt children's mouths, and it just, thank goodness that one went away. But I see the comparison between like the flaming pudding and then that tradition, so.
Yeah, and I mean children playing with flaming alcohol too seems like a bad idea.
Alcohol and fire and yeah.
Yeah, alcohol, fire, and children are 3 things
that don't mix.
Should not go together. No.
So number 4 is door-to-door Christmas carolers. They were once controversial and dangerous. Author and historian Thomas Christensen once wrote, "People of the 17th century would arrive at homes unannounced and demand to be given the residents' finest food and drink. They would threaten violence, physical harm, various types of assault, destroy property, and sing songs with lyrics such as, 'We've come here to claim our right, and if you don't open up your door, we'll lay it flat upon the floor.'" So that's not even anywhere near what today's...
No.
Oh my goodness.
Definitely not. And usually, especially if you look at the people who usually do it these days, look nice and friendly, like you wouldn't think anyone would be threatening violence.
Yeah, I think it was a very different situation back then. And also, reading about it, people were also killed, too.
That doesn't make for a very Merry Christmas either.
No.
Doesn't sound like.
A minister in the early 1700s rallied against celebrating Christmas at all, in particular the practice of caroling. He claimed that it drove people to rioting, promiscuity, and wantonness.
Wantonness?
Wantonness.
Wantonness.
Yeah, so very different than today's Christmas carolers. And how come everything was so violent back then? I guess it was the times.
I think it was the alcohol consumption, probably.
The alcohol,
for
yes.
those days. Like, it was... I mean, it was not even like it was a pastime in those days. It was just part of life.
That's true.
Always. And I think... Partly, I think that's kind of what the government or the elite wanted at the time was... I mean, they were working class people, but also they don't want them getting involved with politics and stuff too much, right? So they keep them dumbed down with keeping it part of their daily life.
That's true. Anyway, thank goodness that tradition's gone, and we have the meek and mild version of that.
Yeah, no longer so disruptive and destructive.
Yeah, exactly.
So number 3. Christmas parties may have their origins in wild pagan festivals. So Christmas hasn't always been celebrated on December 25th. That controversial date of Jesus' birthday wasn't made official until 300 years after the death of Jesus by Pope Julius I. Conveniently, December 25th coincides with the Roman festival of Saturnalia and the winter solstice. Saturnalia involves unrestrained drinking and role reversal between slaves and their masters. Schools were closed, criminals were allowed to run rampant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And the wealthy were encouraged to give gifts to the poor to avoid being robbed.
Good times.
So...
Good old times.
Yeah, I mean, that's... I could see them, especially the wealthy, trying to flip the script on that day.
Yeah, I think wealthy people probably really enjoyed that sort of thing because they were pretty wild back then when it came to celebrating. And I'm pretty much 100% certain this is where Christmas started, because it's pretty well known now that Jesus' birthday was not on December 25th. But yeah, I think the rich people would have really liked this. They enjoyed playing sort of games like that, and good for the slaves and the poorer people because they were treated like kings and queens, I guess, at least for one day. But yes, that's where Christmas parties started, was wild pagan festivals. And pretty much everything to do with Christmas, I believe, started with pagan ritual anyhow.
Oh, yeah.
Or any, really, holiday that we celebrate, right?
Yeah, most of it. It's all revolves around paganism and pre-Christian religions or belief systems.
Right. So number 2, going down the chimney is actually tied to dozens of scary supernatural legends. Santa Claus isn't the only one who can creep into homes unnoticed. There are countless European legends that tell of both helpful and malicious supernatural creatures sneaking into homes through chimneys. So, yikes.
Yeah.
Scottish and English legends tell of the brownie, which is a helpful household spirit that enters and exits homes at night through the chimney.
At least they were helpful.
That's a good one. Yeah.
They don't sound so bad.
Yeah. I don't like them sneaking in like that, but helpful, okay. In the Middle Ages, witches were also thought to pass into homes through chimneys.
I know, it's funny when you hear that too, because, everyone would have had a chimney in those days, because you need fire, obviously, to keep warm. But I just wonder why it's the chimney, though. They had doors, I think their windows were just holes in the wall. Maybe because they were witches, it was like not an easy thing for a normal person to do, to shimmy down a chimney, but...
I don't know, yeah, it's weird when you think about it. Scary though. In Greece, goblin-like creatures were known to crawl into homes through chimneys and terrorize the families inside. So that's scary for Christmas time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of these things, like if you were a good person and lived in a good way, you wouldn't have to really worry about this sort of thing,
That's true.
So, yeah. That's where the tradition of Santa Claus coming down the chimney came from. One or more of these traditions. And it's a weird one. Santa could easily just come through the door. He's magic. I never had a chimney growing up. And I always asked my mom, how did Santa Claus get inside? And she said, he's magic. Or he went through the front door. So...
Which, if he wanted to, if he's got to carry the big old sack on his back, if he's magic, he could just open the door without touching it. So, but then if the sack's too big to get in the doorway, but he gets it down the chimney, so I don't know.
And he's a big guy too, so I often wondered about that because they show Santa as being such like a hefty fellow, and I'm like, how in the world?
Yeah, how does he pull that off?
Magic.
I guess so.
In 19th century Pennsylvania, bell-snickles slipped down chimneys to reward good children with oranges and punish naughty ones with a whip.
So they must have had some really badly misbehaving kids.
Oh my. Well, I mean, it's a good way to get your kids to be good.
Yeah, but also probably seeing violence in those days too was pretty common for kids.
Yeah. Oh, sure. It was a time when you could probably still lay your hands on children. I mean, it was just...
Well, that and that they
wasn't considered abuse or anything back then, right? It was just what you did. But I see another tradition here, and rewarding good children with oranges. So I see that now, and that's still something that's practiced to this day, is, the little mandarin oranges. So another one that came from the past.
And I believe that when we were doing some research, Belsnickel was German belief, I believe, and it was the immigrants that brought it over with them in the 1800s, or probably 17 and 1800s, brought the idea of Belsnickel with them.
Yeah, Dutch or German, I believe. Sort of coincides with the whole krampus idea, where bad children would be punished, except Krampus goes pretty deep. It's not just punishing naughty children with a whip, but I mean, it actually gets very violent. There's also kidnapping involved, and I mean, it's a whole thing. So you could see a lot of the traditions from different countries, different parts of the world sort of run parallel as well. They all have their own version of that one who punishes children.
Yeah. And so number 1, mistletoe was once used to pardon criminals. So we see it now as a plant meant to be kissed under. Mistletoe has some dark origins. It was seen as a sign of friendship by the Druids, and because of that it was banned by religious leaders in England. Later, York Minster Church in the UK began to hold a special mistletoe service each winter. During that service, criminals from the town could come and bring a sprig of mistletoe and be pardoned for their wrongdoings.
I mean, that's awfully nice of England to do that, but like for a country that is so strict, especially against sort of anything that isn't their mother religion, it's odd that they would let something like this happen. It can't be, terrible criminals. It must be sort of like petty thieves, and I can't see them doing that with, well, I guess murderers back then probably would have been, they knew how to take care of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
mistletoe was banned. You wonder why the church would invite criminals to bring band.
I don't know.
Like contraband, or what I suppose you might even call it.
I don't know. It's a weird tradition altogether. And how it got turned into being something that you kiss under, I have no idea. Actually, I've done a little bit of research on that, and there isn't really a story about the transition of it having its dark origins to being used as, a positive. There's not really that connection there in history or in story, so it just... It is what it is, I guess. I wonder if that just means, it's all good for the new year for these criminals, and can you just do it again the next year, or...
That's what I was thinking. Like, so do they put it on a board or let people know that somebody's being pardoned for their wrongdoings, and is everyone supposed to just be cool with them after that?
I guess so.
Again, I guess it depends on their crimes, though.
I mean, like I said, I wouldn't think it would be anything too serious, because back in the day, you committed a serious crime, you were dealt with pretty harshly, you wouldn't even have a chance.
Well,
you wouldn't even have a chance.
Even stuff just like shoplifting or thieving, you'd have a finger or something cut off, or your hands, or even just 18th century alone, the punishments for things were pretty severe.
So, what I guess these criminals that actually, survived all that, I guess, they earned this pardon.
They'd probably be smart to grow mistletoe at home.
Oh, that would be wrong. That would be committing a crime.
I mean, it is.
So that is our top 5 list of Christmas traditions. With sort of creepy beginnings. And there is a lot more out there. These were just the top 5 that we found interesting. So everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Season's greetings. And
we will see you in our next video. Don't forget that we are staying at the other room in the back house for New Year's Eve. We will be doing some live, but mostly it's going to be recorded video, but that should be super interesting. Anyway, happy holidays, guys. And now we're going to show you a little bit of a light show that we attended about 2 weeks ago. We'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, so we are at the Magic of Lights in Springwater Park, and we thought we would just take you along with us to have a look.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very nice so far. Yeah, you don't want to have any issues if you're going to come here with lights.
No, yeah.
Obviously, it's flashing lights.
Merry Christmas!
You know what? I don't think they ever had anything like this when I was a kid.
No way.
I don't think so. I know we used to go around and look at people's lights and stuff. But I mean, I don't think they ever had a thing like this.
Probably wasn't very energy efficient at that time.
No, I guess not. That's going back. Yeah, they might have some solar power going on though too, eh?
Yeah.
You would think. This is really beautiful.
It's definitely nice to have it in solar trees and everything.
Yeah.
Wait to get it.
Yeah, and we went to Illumi in Mississauga, which was absolutely beautiful too, but there's just something a little bit special about seeing it out here in the woods. 12 Days of Christmas. So I have the numbers. Wait a second. The Eiffel Tower. Number 4 is... Okay.
Birds.
I can't remember the song. Oh, 5 Golden Rings. I know that one because it's jewelry. 5 golden rings. 4 calling birds. That's what 4 was.
That's 6.
6. 6. Okay, 7 swans a swimming. 6 geese a laying. And this is 8 maids a milking. 9. Oh my goodness. I'm terrible with Christmas. I mean, I don't like Christmas music that much. 9. Dancing ladies.
Pink lady?
Pink ladies.
10 jumping jacks.
11.
He's obviously stepping on something that he doesn't like. Hot foot.
Boy, oh boy. Okay, 12 drummers drumming. I think we can. That's a for sure.
Probably one of the guitars or 2.
Wow, we are terrible. Why are we even making a Christmas video?
I don't know. Oh yeah, and then you got the in-between days, I guess. They got given the Statue of Liberty and the Leaning Tower.
Statue of Liberty, Leaning Tower. That's kind of cool.
Oh,
Malakirinaka.
yeah, it's the thing.
Ooh, I like that. Feliz Navidad. And Hanukkah greetings. Yeah. Yeah, it is day 2, isn't it?
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, it's neat, yeah.
Français?
Joyeux Noël. We're approaching the Nativity.
Christmas.
Bad. Santa's coming. Lay down.
Santa's bolting in the chimney.
Oh yeah, look at him go.
It's pretty spry. I couldn't even do that.
That's sweet.
Yeah. Till Christmas?
Yeah, it came so fast. The whole year went by. Oh, that's cool.
Definitely would be distracting. Driving through that.
That might be the end. Oh yeah, it is done. And the giant elf. Actually pretty cool. It's pretty big, you guys. That's probably the biggest display in here. There's 2 giant elves at the front, so you can see the difference between the elf and the size of the cars.
Yeah. Monstrous elves. Potholes. I was trying to avoid that, believe it or not.
Alright. And we are out of here.